Hey, it's Aaron the Hope from Mobile Reviews 8.ca, and today we are going to do a review of the Rokform aluminum case for the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. This is a fairly uniquely designed case, but I'm going to be blunt with you, there are certain aspects of this case that really bother me. The Rokform aluminum case is a uniquely designed case and includes a thick aluminum bracket that has several cutouts on it. Access to your iPhone is pretty decent in the case, though despite having the aluminum bracket, protection isn't as high as other slim cases. Now, based on our time with this case, we gave it a score 3.78 out of 5. This is actually one of our lower rated cases, and the only one that's actually lower is the Otterbox Commuter. On the same level is the Bric Extreme, as well as the Ballistic Tough jacket. Now, if you'd rather read the rest of this review, head over to our website. If you're looking to buy a metallic iPhone case, check out our comparison tool for, metallic iPhone cases. Real usage, real reviews. Mobile Reviews 8.ca. At Mobile Reviews 8.ca, we base everything we do on actual usage. So that means actually using cases that we actually don't really like at all, like this one. I know that there's a lot of opinions involved in doing a review, but we try to do all the reviews in the same manner, as we've got a rating system that we've put all the cases that we've reviewed through so that we can kind of say, it is better or it's not. In terms of design, the Rokform aluminum case is fairly bulky, but despite the added bulk, it doesn't add a lot of weight to the iPhone. The general build quality of the iPhone is pretty spectacular, as everything fits really well. It's compatible with most screen protectors and doesn't show excessive wear and tear, as the raised edges on the corners keep the aluminum bracket off a flat surface. Now, the aluminum bracket itself is fairly sizable and actually has a lot of sharp edges that take a bit of getting used to. The majority of the back is kind of finished with a brushed look, with the X of the bracket being finished slightly differently. Now, the carbon inset is taped on the inside of this case, which makes your $90 case seem a little cheap. And if the really nice sticker decides to come off, then the inset kind of moves around, though, and it takes a bit of effort to move it. We do have to note that taking the case apart is pretty terrible due to the bracket, but that's something most people aren't going to worry about, since if you put this case on, you're probably not going to take it off. One of the things that we did notice was that the iPhone doesn't really sit in the middle of the case, which means that the iPhone screen has less protection when compared to other cases. If you install like a thicker screen protector, like Spigen has a pretty thick glass screen protector, there's not going to be a lot of clearance between that screen protector and whatever flat surface or whatever surface you decide to put your iPhone 6 or 6 Plus face down. Now, in terms of protection, despite having this really solid back that doesn't cover any of the corners, we don't think it's going to provide, an extreme amount of drop protection. The TPU bumper is pretty thick along the corners, and again, I do think it will absorb a lot of the shock of a small drop. Now, dust and debris, this is a little fun to talk about, as there are giant cutouts everywhere, and there's a sizable gap between the back of the iPhone and the plate, so stuff is going to get stuck in there, and there's a good chance that, it could damage the back of your iPhone. We're not a big fan of that cutout. This is close to being a $100 case for the iPhone 6 Plus version, and it doesn't include a screen protector. You add the fact that, the screen clearance is so low and there's no screen protector, it doesn't sit well with me. One of the things I will note, and I'm going to chalk it up to it being a good thing, is that it will protect your iPhone from bending if you try to bend it from the middle. This middle bracket is very thick, and it will kind of bend if you put enough pressure on it, but from all the iPhones that we've seen, it's not the middle of the iPhone that bends, it's the corners that actually start bending a little bit, and so, again, this middle bracket it doesn't do anything. Now, the best part of this case is this allows you to access your iPhone fairly easily. You won't have any issues accessing your iPhone inside the case. You can use larger than average cable accessories. The camera flash not covered, sound isn't muffled, and there aren't any noticeable signal attenuations with the bracket. Now, one of the things that I did notice was that there are no cutouts for the buttons, well, except for maybe the mute switch, but that's kind of not a button, it's a switch. Your power button, your volume buttons all sit flush with the case, and so it kind of gets lost along the edge of the case. It's really easy to access the power button and the volume buttons on a naked iPhone, but when you're trying to do something that doesn't really differentiate between a button and an edge, it gets frustrating over time. That's what I've discovered. Now, again, that's a very personal thing. Maybe some people aren't bothered by it, but again, I'm used to the iPhone being one way. When a case takes away that, I really notice that. Now, one of the nice things about having all these really sharp edges is that it really helps using your iPhone in one hand. I will admit that. But again, the sharp edges, you just kind of have to get used to them. Rokform does include an area for you to add wrist straps or little trinkets along the side of your iPhone. Yay! Because of the lack of edges, you can get to your iPhone screen without any problem. You can swipe as much as you possibly want because there's no edges. Now, again, we gave this case a score of 3.78 out of 5. It's one of the lower rated cases that we've rated for the iPhone 6, and this is like case number 52, I think, for the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. So what really bothers me about this case is that it just seems really confused. You got all these really nice materials to the back of the case. The entire iPhone doesn't sit in the middle of the case, it sits closer to one side, which means there's a lot of really useless dead space between, you know, the iPhone's touchscreen and the bottom of your iPhone. Like that just, there's all this stuff and it's really bulky. So you add all these things together that just, it doesn't quite make any sense to me. Like you got this really nice finished aluminum bracket, but then on the inside of the X, it just looks like they just kind of machined it out, smoothed it out, and it really takes away from a case that otherwise could have been really, really nice. So that's all I got for the Rokform aluminum case. If you have any questions for me, do leave them in the comment section below. Find us on Google+, Twitter, as well as Facebook. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Woo!